Welcome to my YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we will talk about the Retire Young, Retire Rich. How to get rich quickly and stay rich forever by Robert Kiyosaki. Cash flow is the most important term in the world of money. The second most important is leverage. Leverage is the reason some people become rich and others do not. The reason less than 5% of all Americans are rich is because only 5% know how to use the power of leverage. Many who want to become rich fail to become rich because they abuse their power. And most people do not become rich because they fear the power of leverage. Your brain can be your most powerful asset, or it can be your most powerful liability. If you use the right words in your brain, you will become very rich. If you use the wrong words, your brain will make you poor. Most people take the most powerful leverage in the world, their brains, and use that power to make them poor. That is not the use of that power, it's abuse. Every time you say, "I can't afford it," or "I can't do that," or "investing is risky," or "I'll never be rich," you are using the most powerful form of leverage. You have to abuse yourself. If you want to be more successful, simply watch how kids learn and copy them. One of the things I had to learn was how to overcome the fear of making mistakes, the fear of failing, and the fear of being embarrassed. Most young kids know how to do that naturally. Getting rich begins with the right mindset, the right words, and the right plan. After you have that, the action steps are easy. The biggest challenge you have is to challenge your own self-doubt and your laziness. It is your self-doubt and your laziness that define and limit who you are. If you want to change who you are, you must take on your self-doubt and your laziness. It is your self-doubt and laziness that keeps you small. It is your self-doubt and laziness that deny you the life you want. There is no one in your way except you and your doubts. It is easy to stay the same. It is easy not to change. Most people choose to stay the same all their lives. If you take on your self-doubt and your laziness, you will find the door to your freedom. Let's set the goal to be financially free. Rich Dad's 3 paths to great wealth are increasing business skills, increasing money management skills, increasing investment. Once you find the why, it is easy to find your own how. Instead of looking inside themselves to find their own way for wanting to become rich, most people look for the easy road to wealth. The problem with the easy road is that it usually ends in a dead end. If you find yourself arguing with a good idea, you may want to stop arguing. The reason I had decided to do it was because I had found my why. I knew why I was going to do it, even though at that moment I did not know how I was going to do it. Without a strong enough why, even the easiest how to get rich will be too hard. There are many ways to get rich, but there are only a few personal reasons why you want to get rich. Find your why, and then you will find you how. As the old saying goes, where there is a will, there is a way. For me, finding my will made finding my way possible. Without the will, the way would have been way too hard. If you want something, be passionate. Passion gives energy to your life. If you want something you do not have, find out why you love what you want and why you hate not having what you want. When you combine those two thoughts, you will find the energy to get off your seat and go get anything you want. Money does not make you happy. That statement has some truth to it. But what money does do is buy me the time to do what I love and pay other people to do what I hate doing. A suggestion: regardless if you can retire early or not, I suggest taking at least an hour each month to reflect on your life. Taking the time to reflect on my life, I discovered that what I thought was important was not that important. What was important was where I was at, not where I was going. There is no one more important than the person in front of you at that moment. Take that moment to be with him or her. Time is precious. Don't waste it. Appreciate it. Sometimes stopping for a moment is harder than staying busy. For me, the best thing about retiring early was learning to appreciate life, even if it was hectic, stressful, and filled with problems. I found out that I did not know what to do if I had nothing to do. Today, I truly appreciate the hustle and bustle of life because I know what it is like to sit around doing nothing. So whatever stake your life is in at present, take a moment to appreciate it, because tomorrow it will only be a memory. Why does the government tax your savings but give you a tax break for being in debt? The poor and middle class have a hard time getting rich because they try to use their own money to get rich. If you want to get rich, you need to know how to use other people's money to get rich, not your own. No, you don't have to become a rock star to be rich, and no, television, radio, and records are not the only forms of leverage. But if you want to become rich, you have to use some form of leverage. The difference between the rich, the poor, and the middle class is the different forms of leverage each class uses. The rich are richer simply because they use different forms of leverage, and they use more of it. If you want to be rich, you need to know the differences between good debt and bad debt, good expenses and bad expenses, good income and bad income, and good liabilities and bad liabilities. People who only work hard have limited leverage. If you're working hard physically and not getting ahead financially, then you are probably someone else's leverage. He also said, if you have money sitting in the bank in your savings account or retirement account, then your money is someone else's leverage. I often hear people say, he got lucky because he was in the right place at the right time. I think a more accurate statement is, he got lucky because he was educated, experienced, ready, and prepared to take advantage of the opportunity when the opportunity presented itself. The most expensive advice is often free advice. It is the advice about money, investments, and business that you get from your poor friends and relatives. How can I do what I do for more people with less work and for a better price? Even though he did not have the money at that time. Instead, he spent months coming up with a plan on how he could afford it. He worked hard at taking what was outside his reality and making it a part of his reality. It was not money that made my rich dad richer. It was his ability to expand his reality that ultimately made him richer and richer. If you want to be successful in life, you need to always be respectful of the odds, regardless of how successful you were in the past. Every professional blackjack player knows that just because they drew an ace and a king in their last hand, it does not change the odds for their next hand. Losers are people who think that losing is bad. Losers cannot afford to lose and often avoid losing at all costs. Many losers bet only on sure things such as job security, a steady paycheck, a guaranteed pension, and interest from a bank account. Losers keep losing and winners keep winning simply because winners know that losing is part of winning. Reality change does not necessarily mean bigger or better. A change of reality may simply be a shift in point of view. For example, instead of saying something is too risky, as many unsophisticated investors say, ask instead, what is the risk-reward ratio? Or, how many times will I lose before I win? Instead of saying, that piece of land is too expensive, read a book about a person who could afford that piece of land, or ask someone who could afford that piece of land and find out how they could afford it. The important thing is not the land, but the change in your reality. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.